Hello all and welcome, and I am the Realist Philosopher. And in this video, I would like to talk about an article I came across from a gentleman who says he went out with a single mom, dated a single mom, and he wants to tell us what he learned about that experience. Now, first of all, let me tell you a little something about single moms, okay? So, you know what to do when you meet one. The moment you find out a woman is a single mom, no matter what she looks like, no matter how great she seems, you know what you need to do? Run! Run fast, run far, but run. As fast as your feet will carry you. It's likely she won't be able to keep up. Yes, you need to get away. Because unless she is a widow, she is a near virtueless woman. Little to no virtue. That's why she has a kid. Rode the car carousel, got pregnant, decided, yeah, well, okay, sure, I'll have the kid. I don't need no man. No virtue. Doesn't recognize virtue in men. Man-hating Wayman. Yeah, you don't need that. You don't need that in your life, okay? Oftentimes, these women get pregnant so they can keep a guy because that's the only way they can keep a guy because they have nothing else to bring to the table. Often that's the case. Or they're aging Waymen who want to continue to ride the cock carousel and have their quote-unquote freedom, but they also feel that biological clock ticking away, so they want to have a kid, and they want to have a man subsidize it. So they get pregnant, poke some holes in a condom, or just say, yeah, I took my birth control, and then 9 months later, they're having your baby, and you're on the hook for the next 18 years. Her body, her choice. It ought to be your wallet, your choice as well, but apparently not. So, yeah, you want to avoid single mothers because, yes, they can and often are an easy lay. If that weren't the case, they wouldn't have kids and be single to begin with. But they've also demonstrated an extreme lack of judgment and moral character and an extreme lack of virtue, and they've already demonstrated as well that they will have a kid if they get pregnant. So, you know for sure, almost for certain, that if you get her knocked up, she's going to have that kid. So, yeah, good job to avoid them. But this guy, I think he might have a different take, which is the wrong take if it's different from mine. But let's see what he has to say. All right, so we got this nice picture here. This little young boy laughing and giggling and holding the hands of his single mommy, and they're both wearing red hats. Oh, how joyful a day. If I see those two running at me, I'm running the other way, okay? Oh, boy. So this guy, here are a few insights that one man learned firsthand. So he's writing this from his point of view. We met at a tapas bar soon after we matched on a dating app. Okay. That is red flag number one. Any woman that's of any real quality will not use a dating app, all right? It's just that simple. It screams of desperation, okay? Especially when we're talking about women. Now, men, they're oftentimes horn dogs and not too discerning, and oftentimes we just want sex. Yeah, we'll use dating apps oftentimes just to get laid. Not necessarily anything wrong with that. You're not going to find a quality woman that way, but generally speaking, you're not looking for a quality woman. You're just looking to, clean the pipes out, as it were. Now, a woman, it's pretty easy. I mean, if she's at least halfway decent looking, she shouldn't need to be using a dating app. The only reason she would need to be using a dating app is if she's a horrible person in most cases. She's just man repellent, and so she's desperate. If she's a decent looking broad, doesn't need to use a dating app unless she's a horrible human being, which is oftentimes the case if she's decent looking because, good-looking broads, they don't have to have virtue. They don't have to have something to bring to the table. We're talking 8, 9s, 10s, especially 9s and 10s, but also 8s. So good-looking, why would I have to develop a good character, good personality, virtues? Meh, I've gotten along this long on my looks. So, yeah, good-looking broad, usually, not always, but usually means very little virtue. And the better looking she is, the less virtue she is likely to have. So, yeah, I would not use a dating app myself to meet a woman. You want to, fine, but just keep in mind that she's not going to be good for anything more than a pump and dump. And if you meet a single mother on this thing, you need to run as fast as you can. So he goes on by saying, halfway into our first glass of wine, the petite and attractive, you idiot. That's petite and attractive, I called it. Woman sitting across from me divulged that she had an 8-year-old son. Is her husband dead? And by the way, you want to avoid dating widows as well. Because even though she's not a single mother in the sense that she showed bad judgment, maybe she actually married the father of her child, but if you get with her for a long period of time, guess who's going to be paying? Guess who's going to be paying out the ass for that kid? You. She's going to want to go out with you and bring the kid along. You're not going to have very much time together alone. And she's going to expect you to flip the bill for that kid too. So unless you got a lot of money, especially if you got a lot of money, I'd stay away if you want to keep it. So he goes on to say, given that I wasn't looking for anything serious and was dating other people, I was more interested than taken aback. More interested? Why would you be more interested? This is a single mother, okay? She's looking for something serious. If you're not looking for something serious, why would you be more interested? Makes no sense. It sounds like he has bad judgment too. A match made in heaven. Likewise, she didn't seem put off when I told her that I'd had a vasectomy and had plenty of thoughtful questions about why I'd done it. She didn't seem put off, huh? Well, she can't be too picky. Single mothers who are picky tend to grow old alone. And when they got 8-year-olds, they're especially not picky because they want a human wallet, okay? So, of course, she's not going to be picky. She's happy you're still sitting there once she told you she had an 8-year-old. And if you had any sense, you would have gotten up, excused yourself, went to the bathroom, and climbed out the bathroom window. Clearly, we'd made some different decisions about our lives. But by the end of our second class of Rioja, we decided that wasn't going to get in the way of being intimate with each other and having some fun. Yeah, so this is what I've said. Single mothers have shown poor judgment. And yeah, they're real horny in most cases because they're taking care of a kid. They don't have any time to date. They're lacking in virtue, so any dating that they would be doing wouldn't last very long because not too many men are interested in a broad with a kid. You ought to take a clue. You ought to get a clue, buddy. Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ, there's a reason she's alone and so horny because she can't get a man because they have more sense than you. Have some fun. What an idiot. What a fool. Fast forward 2 years. You're an idiot. And despite that somewhat star-crossed date, we're still an item. You know. So you wanted to take care of another guy's garbage. Yeah. You wanted to take care of another guy's tossed away trash, right? Yeah, I don't want you. Yeah, use Kleenex. Yeah. So another guy's used Kleenex. Here's your star-crossed lover. And you got to take care of her bastard kid, too. Oh, that's wonderful. What kind of wimp are you? Guys, by the way, this is another problem with these single mothers. If you stay with them for long enough, even if you've had a vasectomy, guess what? You're going to become daddy, but not really. The kid's never going to listen to you. The kid's never going to see you as daddy. You're never going to have any real authority. But the one thing that is going to happen is that kid is going to continually get in between the two of you. Oh, man. It's been the most loving and mature relationship I've ever been a part of. Though had I consulted the experts who shared the following insights with me, I dare say I could have saved us both some misgivings, trouble, and heartache along the way. Talk about what you want early on. He's got some advice for us, yes. This brilliant genius who dated a single mother for 2 years. Oh, boy. This should be good. Talk about what you want early on. Well, it feels unnatural to have a discussion about what your expectations are. And it's a conversation worth having sooner rather than later when you're dating a single mother. Never date a single mother. Never, ever, 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 ever. That's because any preconceived notions you have can be way, way off. When a single mom begins dating, they may just be looking for a break, a supportive ear, emotional tampon, for the challenging period they're going through. So she's just using you. You're just a human wallet and tampon for her emotional outbursts. I see. You're just a cheap shrink. You're a cheap shrink, all right. You pay the way, all right? Right? You pay for dates and everything, and you're a shrink. Wow, that's great. Fun outings and sexual companionship that provides hope for the future, said psychotherapist Sarah Cooper. Oh, boy. She's admitting that single mothers very often use men for their resources and their ear, right? Director of Center for Love and Sex. There's such a thing as a Center for Love and Sex. You know, that's a scam. Cooper adds they may also begin dating with the longing for a serious relationship, so it's important to know what you want and to be honest about whether it's compatible with what she's looking for and check in regularly as your relationship progresses. You're never going to be able to have a stable relationship with a single mom. Sure, there's exceptions to the rule. Yeah, there's some kids out there. You've seen those videos on YouTube who are approaching their stepdaddies who essentially married the single mom when they were little and asking them to sign adoption papers and become their real daddy, and everybody cries and all that shit. Those are exceptions. That's not the rule. In most cases, that kid is going to hate you. That kid is going to resent you because that kid sees you as getting in the way of her mommy or his mommy and the daddy getting back together. You're getting in the way. You're trying to take the place of their real daddy, who you're also going to have to deal with in most cases. Oh, boy. Talk about baggage. Pass. Get off your high horse. Oh, I know where this is going already just from the title. Okay, so ever heard of white knight syndrome? Psychotherapist Paul Hochemeier, yeah, I've heard of it, PhD, describes it as a compulsive need to be a caregiver to romantic partners you perceive to be in distress. If, like me, you style yourself as a happy-go-lucky, freewheeling guy, the challenges a single mom faces down, day in, day out, challenges she created with her bad judgment, right? And you want to introduce that bad judgment into your life? If the single mother part of the whole equation wasn't a red flag right there, Jesus Christ, I guess you're not going to get to the point where you realize that her bad judgment is going to be an impediment in your relationship. Yeah, day out can compel you to want to wade into the mire and solve problems. I'd seen this white knight personality trait in other people and seen how it can be counterproductive. Right. Do not be a white freaking knight. Even if she needs somebody to save her, why does she need somebody to save her? Because she made bad decisions. Guess what? She wanted to be equal and act in a way that represents the gross caricature of men that women try to aspire to be. Well, you got to suffer the consequences, ladies. I thought I could resist the compelled to swoop in and save the day financially, physically, or emotionally, but increasingly I couldn't. Wow. Wow, what a mangina. What a cuck boy. Jeez, he's not a real man. Real man has control of his emotions. A real man is not controlled by them. More to the point, I wasn't being asked to swoop in the first place. Unfortunately, while saving the day will temporarily feed your ego. Yeah, if you have a small ego, if you have very little self-esteem, then sure. It will leave you feeling angry, resentful, and drained in the long run, says Hochemeier, detailing something I learned the hard way. His name makes me think of hot dogs. And then I start thinking about a hot dog down a hallway in regards to single mothers. Oh, boy. I don't know how you could be having a fun sexual relationship with that broad. Ay, ay, ay. So while it's natural to want to relieve the burdens and resolve the issues of the person you love, doing it to the point where it disrupts your own life, health, or happiness isn't doing anyone any favors. Yeah, yet another reason to avoid single mothers. She's going to want you to pay for things. She's going to want you to be there to help save her, solve her problems. And, if you want the poon, that's what you're going to do. And she's already demonstrated that she uses poon to manipulate men, i.e. the child. So you should get the hell out. You should never get involved in the first place, really. Next, know your place. She's made incredible sacrifices, endured unimaginable pain, and navigates a slew of daily challenges to make sure her child or children, oh man, multiple red flags there, get everything they need in life. And what's she doing with kids without a husband? Clearly, she's not willing to sacrifice her quote-unquote freedom, her free-willing, liberal, liberated, I don't need no man ways to make life better for her kids. Unimaginable pain. Get out of here. If there's any pain, it's self-inflicted. Yeah, I'm supposed to feel sorry for her for stabbing herself in the leg. Come on. Yeah, I'm going to inflict injuries on myself, and then I'm going to want everybody to feel sorry for me. Incredible sacrifices. What sacrifices? You sacrificed being happy. You could have found a good man. You could have become married, but yeah, you went for the pretty boys, the bad boys, and look where you're at now. Yes, having to sacrifice. Sacrifice what? The word salad, mumbo jumbo bullshit. Tell me the exact sacrifices you made. Something I try and sometimes fail to be mindful of is that her child is her number one priority. Yeah, that's the other problem with dating a single mother. If you go out with one, you'll never be number one. Never, ever, 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 ever. You'll always be competing with that kid for her time. And guess who's going to win? Not you. Don't expect you will suddenly jump to the front of the queue when it comes to time for your needs to be met. Right, you have needs? Guess what? They don't mean anything because you're not the baby daddy, says Hokemeyer, explaining that if you require constant validation, this man's a mangina, right? Because wanting actual attention from your girlfriend, or if you're dumb enough to marry a single mother, wife, that's bad. You need constant validation because you want some attention from your girlfriend or wife. Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm calling mangina on this Hokemeyer dude. From your partner, perhaps you're not ready to be romantically involved with a single mom. I love how he talks about being involved with a single mom as if it's some kind of higher calling. And you got to be some kind of prophet, some kind of holy man, some kind of enlightened being to recognize all the wonderful things about a single mom. And you need to be more mature. You need to be better. You need to be above and beyond the normal man to handle a single mom. God. Rather than allowing yourself to get butthurt about the amount of time or emotional bandwidth she has for you, look for other expressions of how she feels for you and, of course, how you can help her because she's not going to help you at all. Wow. Serve the Wayman, says Hokemeyer, whose name sounds like a fucking hot dog. Yeah, I'm going to listen to you, pal. I don't think so, mangina. You listening to this? It's requiring constant validation to expect some attention from your partner, for her to put some time, to invest some energy into your relationship. Oh, you're an insecure man who needs constant validation. You're too clingy because you want 5 minutes of her time. Yeah, Okay, pal. Okay. Yeah. You want to talk about sacrifice? You're the one who's going to be actually sacrificing as compared to the faux sacrifices that this lady has made if you get involved with a single mother. Do not do it. Next, don't wait to meet the children until you're all in. Don't meet the kids. Don't meet them. Because likely it's not going to work out. And you might actually start to bond with these kids, or they might actually start to bond with you. So all you're really doing is damaging these kids, creating trauma. Because, again, things are likely not to work out. So whatever bond you form with these kids, if any, bye-bye. Daddy leaves. Daddies always leave. And, of course, if these are girls, well, yeah, they're not going to have too much trust for men. Of course, the mother kind of ruined that when she decided to have kids out of wedlock. So they don't even know what a real man is like. And then they see all these men coming in and out of mommy's life. And these little girls, well, that's how you have relationships with men. Yeah. And if it's a boy, well, much the same. And he's going to approach women in that way as well. And you're going to damage his ability to bond with other people also. Yeah. So you're going to traumatize those kids just to get some booty. Yeah, I don't think it's worth it. And I love how this article talks about how the woman's so sacrificing. She sacrifices so much for her kids, yet she's constantly hopping into many different beds, trying to find some dude she can sponge off of. Yet that can't be good for the kids. That's got to be very bad for the kids. Oh, she cares so much about her kids. If she cared so much about her kids, she would have married the dude that knocked her up and not been hopping from bed to bed to bed and be continuing to hop from bed to bed to bed. I just love how this writer and this shrink try to make single moms sound like some kind of saints, which they most certainly are not. Far from it. They're some of the most selfish creatures in the world. I'm just going to pop out a kid, because it fulfills me. It's what I want to do. And to hell with the consequences. To hell with the effects it has on the kid of not having a father around. Because I don't need no man. I need a man like a fish needs a bicycle. So when I told my friends that I was going to meet the kid around 3 months after our first date, several of them expressed concerns. You got some bad friends. Because if these were good friends, they would have told you the moment they found out that you were dating a single mother, they would have told you to run. So you got some bad friends, my friend. They worried that the introduction was a Rubicon crossing moment. He's trying to sound clever. I didn't listen to them, and in retrospect, I think I made the right move. Yeah. No, you didn't. You want to believe you did. Not the same thing. Spokane-based sex therapist Zita Nickerson. Yeah, I can't take you serious, lady, with that name. I can't take you seriously. Agrees. What if you don't get along with them and that becomes a huge point of contention? Yeah, they're probably not going to like you. She says, adding that instead of waiting for certain conditions to be met, a better tactic is to agree upon a healthy way to meet her children and to get to know her children without creating expectations that would lead to disappointments. Let me ask you this. Are you such a loser that this is the best you can do? I mean, this guy sounds reasonably intelligent. He's probably a decent-looking guy. What the hell do you want to date a single mother for? I mean, is the dating pool so slim that this is the best you can do? I mean, maybe it is, but I don't think so. I would think you could set your sights a little higher. Gentlemen, look, you need to have more self-esteem, okay? These entitled waymen aiming for the top 20% of men have really, really lowered your self-esteem, okay? To the point where some of you would actually consider dating abroad like this. Don't do it. Value yourselves more. Hold out for something better. Or just don't even get into a serious relationship and use the majority of Western women for what they're good for. Pumping them and dumping them. And while that might sound cruel and cold, well, that's the way most Western women are today. They have very little of value. They don't bring much of anything to the table. Why should you treat them as if they're anything else other than what they are? Sperm receptacles. If they have some values, if they have some virtues, well, that's a different story. But the majority of them do not. So treat them for what they are. Treat them as what they are. Goes on to say, Nickerson goes on to explain that part of building a romantic relationship with another adult is also building a friendship. Yeah, I got enough friends. Explore meeting her children in that stage and follow her lead in conversations with her children. Oh, now we're into multiples here. Now we're talking about plural. I thought it was one kid before. Now we're talking multiple kids. Oh, boy. Run away. They don't need to know right away that you are anything more than a friend. What do you think, kids are stupid? You think kids are morons? You think they're not going to figure this out? Good Lord, if she's a single mother, she's probably had a parade of men coming in and out of that house trying to hook them with her poon, not realizing that that's not how you hook a man for a long-term stable relationship. That's how you hook a man for booty calls. You're just using your poon because you have nothing else to bring to the table. Yes. Maybe you should bring something else to the table. Oh, but that would require a lot of reflection, a lot of self-knowledge, a lot of hard work to improve myself. Nah, can't do that. Next, know that you and your relationship are having an effect. What? Okay, so before it said, don't be a white knight. Be very, very careful about getting involved with a single mother just because of the white knight syndrome. That feeling that you want to save her, and then the relationship isn't really based on much of anything except you're feeling your need to save a woman. Well, this contradicts that. What do you mean, know that me and my relationship with the mother is having an effect? Oh, boy. I see some contradictions coming here. Nickerson says that while you should try to replace the other parent, it's important to recognize that you are... Wait a second, what? You should try to replace the other parent? I'm guessing that's a typo. It's important to recognize that you are a potential role model for a child. I'm already out. I'm gone. I'm an old man. Been around like half a century. I don't want kids. Even if I did want them, I'd want my own, you know. And if I was going to have kids, it would be with some broad that was 20 years younger than me. It wouldn't be with some old broad like this, right? And it wouldn't be with a woman that has her own kid. A potential role model for a child. Why do I want that? What do I want that for? And there can be equally important responsibilities in that. Yeah, I don't want that. Why? So essentially, I got to be a savior. I got to be a parent now. So maybe he actually did mean you should try to replace the other parent. Why? Well, I'm going to take it at face value and not assume that that's a typo. Even though it is a typo in regards to what it ought to say, which is you should not. You should not try to replace the other parent. This kid already has a daddy, okay? You don't want to be that kid's daddy. Trust me. She explains that beyond being a potential role model, your relationship itself is a model to her children. Yeah, I don't want that responsibility. I got enough responsibility in my life. What do I want to take on more? Many mothers recognize the importance of their romantic relationship. Yeah, the importance as a wallet. Somebody to contribute to the household expenses so she doesn't have to work as much and suffer the consequences of her poor judgment. And that they are modeling and building the framework of the adult relationship their children will eventually have. Isn't it kind of too late for that? Yeah, that's not a model these kids should be following. Okay, so by the writer's own estimation, this is the model that they should have. Get a lady pregnant if you're a boy, or if you're a girl, get pregnant from a boy who's just pretty and himself has no virtues, and you don't have to have any virtues either. Just open your legs up to him and try to lure him in and trap him that way. And then when you get pregnant, he runs off because you have no virtues to keep him around, and he has no virtues that would make him feel obligated to stay. And like attracts like, of course, which is why you both have no virtues. Water seeks its own level, as it were. And then keep hopping from bed to bed to bed, riding the cock carousel if you're a girl. That's a great framework of an adult relationship to model for your kids as a single mom. Yeah. Yeah, brilliant, brilliant. I think I'm going to pass. I think I'm going to pass on being the white knight savior, which you were saying in this paragraph I should be, even though in the previous paragraph you're saying I shouldn't be. Would you think I would miss that? Come on. Yeah, so it's my job as a man to go out into the world and save women from the consequences of their bad decisions. I think not, ladies. Ladies, I think you need to suffer the consequences of your actions. I think you need to be alone forever. Gentlemen, I think you need to realize that no matter how good looking that single mommy is, she ain't nearly as attractive or good feeling, if you know what I mean, as she was before she had those kids and decided to settle for the third or fourth or fifth or 50th choice that is you. You're not going to get to experience the best of her. She's already had her fun and ready to settle down with the beta male. You are the beta male provider. Yes, but this article is essentially telling you you should feel privileged to have been chosen to be the simpleton beta male provider once she's had her fun. And you get to pick up and carry the burden of all that fun and all those bad choices, and she really doesn't have to suffer any consequences. Now you get to suffer the consequences. Oh, boy! So she's ready now to find a good man that'll be stable, be a good provider, and you get the leftovers. Yeah. I think I'll pass. I think I'll pass. Look, ladies and gentlemen, the only way that things are going to change in society, and the only way that women are actually going to start going for good guys, which they say they want, but more often than not, don't choose, is to make these women suffer actual consequences. Stop white knighting for them. Stop being that soft feather bed for them to fall onto when things don't work out. Don't save them. Don't be there for them. Run away as fast as you possibly can the moment you find out she's a single mother. And that's it for this video. Please let me know what you think in the comments section, and please like and subscribe to my channel. Also, check out my backup channel as well. You'll find the link in the description to this video, and please like and subscribe to that as well. Also, I suggest you follow me on SoundCloud, because you never know what's going to happen on YouTube, and you don't want to lose track of me or my content, because no matter what happens on YouTube, I will continue to create content, and you want to be able to find that content. Also, I'm on Gab, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram. You can go follow me on all of those platforms, and all those links are in the description. And if you want to be generous and support my content, please do so. I consider it my job and duty as a realist philosopher to deliver as many red pills, to disseminate as much wisdom, to disseminate as much knowledge and truth to people as possible, both men and women. Of course, generally speaking, the women choose not to listen because their emotions get in the way and they get offended when they hear the truth. But hopefully men will not. Men being beings who rely on logic and reason and not emotion to guide their actions, will hear the truth in my words and be swayed by them and lead better, more productive, happier lives. And that is my goal, that men will do so, and that is why I am here delivering these red pills. And if you want to help me do so, please visit my website and consider donating at therealistphilosopher.com/donate. That's therealistphilosopher.com/donate. And that's it. I am the Realist Philosopher, and I wish you a good day. Take care.